Well, the Astros made a global move. Imai Tatsuya is a Houston Astro, and he signed here. That's right. Happy New Year, folks. Let's talk about this guy and what kind of superstar we're getting in H-Town.
Yainel Diaz, this is Locked On Astros.
Hello and welcome to Locked On Astros, your daily Astros podcast. Here are your hosts, Eric the Man Huysman and Brett H-Town Wheelhouse Chancey.
We are Locked On Houston Astros, and we hope that you join us for a daily Locked On Astros podcast. My name is Eric Huysman. He is Brett Chancey. We are the Locked On Astros podcast. Thank you for making us your first listen, whether it's Apple, Odyssey, Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcast. Go and make us your first listen. And go ahead and join the Everydayers Club. It's an awesome little incentive to just get you more into the game, more into the action, more into the Astros talk all year round. And we get to go deep into what's going on. And I know Brett's probably going to do one. He's super excited about the signing. And he's probably going to do one into the what he does his pitching wise. But we're going to be talking a lot about what happened. What does this mean for the Houston Astros? But today's show is sponsored by FanDuel. Before tip-off, check the FanDuel app and see what's dropping during happy hour every Friday from 6 to 7:30 p.m. Eastern. So, Brett, I know that I wanted to talk about this yesterday, but we were kind of wanting to keep it a short show. And I know it was kind of like, I don't know if the Astros would be able to outbid other teams, but the Astros actually signed a big international player. Tatsuya Imai is now a Houston Astro. And from what I understand, the Astros didn't offer the best and the longest deal, but they offered a deal that he was more comfortable with. And he's coming to Houston at least for one guaranteed season, and we'll see what happens beyond that. But the Astros make a big, bold move to try to compete again, try to regain the AL West. What does this mean? What does he throw? And what does the rotation look like going forward? We have some thoughts on tonight's Locked On Astros podcast.
Yeah, definitely. Well, Happy New Year. It seems like just a few hours ago, you and I were talking, and there were some people asking about him. And, I hadn't heard anything. All the noise was about him going to the Padres. He had worked out at Petco Park. The Giants were a heavy favorite. The West Coast was a heavy favorite. And look, he wanted to compete against Yamamoto because, Eric, back in 2021, one of his best games, he actually beat Yamamoto. He beat Yamamoto in a head-to-head competition. But, hey, check this out. This is a salary that is made for the modern baseball fan. $18 million base salary per year, $3 million in performance bonuses tied to innings pitched, 80 innings pitched, 90 to 100 for a max of $21 million AAV. Now, it's a guaranteed $54 million with 63 total in possible incentives. He has an opt-out after each season, and he can go year to year. Hopefully, he finds his place in his home here in Houston. Eric, say what you want about Dana Brown. There's been a lot of hate thrown around about Dana Brown saying he's not signing the big person. They're not going out and getting that big free agent. All the other teams are doing it, the Dodgers and the Cubs and the Yankees and the Mets and all these other teams. But you know what? Step into 2026, and I'll show you Jim Crane and Dana Brown. They had a deal, because why wouldn't you, if you are Imai, would you not want to pair yourself with someone like Hunter Brown? This 1-2 punch is deadly. And a couple things we're going to talk about in this show today is what he's done over his career and the improvement, and what this means for the rotation, and why Houston, I think, is the best fit for this pitcher. And I foresee more than one season of this guy staying as a Houston Astro.
Well, you bring up a good point, because he was the guy that called out. He said, I want to come. I want to take down the Dodgers. So for him to come to Houston, that says that he thinks that the Astros still have a chance to go to the World Series again. And so I think Dana Brown and Jim Crane, maybe they look at this and be like, hey, we got our guy. We got the guy that we've been scouting since high school. We've been watching him. We've been watching him develop. We've been scouting. And normally they typically don't get the Japanese players. They typically get the Latin American players, but they're dipping into a different market here. And so maybe with this move, they can go ahead and make some other moves to shore up some other weak areas, like catching. I know that's an area that they're kind of weak at, but this rotation is all of a sudden, I've been talking for years about don't go into the season with not enough pitching depth. And now they have it. They have this deep pitching depth. If somebody goes out with the injury, you have other people that could step up. And it makes you wonder, what's the health of Spencer Arrighetti? Is he really healthy? Is he really ready to go for spring training? Because a lot of these moves, a lot of the things that the Astros are doing, they're adding all these other pitchers. And
right.
That after what happened in 2025, they don't want to go through another season where they basically have to call up another pitcher every day to make a start. I'm exaggerating there, but this is what you have to do as a GM. You don't go in season and saying, oh yeah, we got our 5 pitchers. We're good, yo.
Exactly. Now, it's funny you say that because when you look on Fangraphs, I don't know what's going on with Fangraphs. They don't even have a Spencer Arrighetti listed. So whatever. I mean, look, you can't believe everything you read on the internet, right? But this is a significant splash for the Houston Astros, a top free agent. This is something interesting. The Astros have been scouting this guy, Eric, since high school. Since high school. Okay, 2018 was the start of his career. This guy's 26. The Astros have known about this guy for almost 10 years, and they have been scouting him, and I promise you, they sold him on this vision of going back to the playoffs. Oh, by the way, you want to beat the Dodgers? They're our rivals, and when we played them in the World Series, guess what? We beat them. That's right. So this would be a great legacy setter for this Japanese pitcher. This would be a great tone setter for 2026. And Eric, even with this move, you and I were talking before this, Eric, I don't think they're done making moves. I think this is just the beginning. I think we're still going to make some trades. I think we still got to get a backup catcher. I still think there's a possibility that one Christian Walker or someone like Jake Myers is dealt in a trade, maybe for some bullpen help. But there are guys that can come out and piecemeal starts and put starts together where, again, I will tell y'all in the last segment why this works out for this star pitcher, a guy that has got amazing stuff. I can't wait in the second segment to talk about some of his peripherals, some of the eye-popping numbers and improvements that he's made, Eric. But also for our community in Houston, such a diverse community, such a huge Japanese population, this is massive. And so signing a guy like him on the global scale, I mean, Eric, we're going to gain some followers from Japan, I promise you, from this signing on Locked On Astros. So that's going to be a really cool thing.
Well, this is the first Japanese signing by the Houston Astros since Kaz Matsuzaka. This was a long, long time ago. Kaz Matsui. I was thinking a different player, but so this is the Astros don't really do this. And the fact that they're doing this, I think, they got the player that they wanted, and they got out of their comfort zone. Jim Crane has not wanted to do the opt-outs, and because he's seen so many people like Alex Bregman do the opt-outs, and so it's a risk for the Astros to do this, because let's say he goes out there and has a Cy Young type of season. And then he's like, you know what? I can make some more money elsewhere. What if he's a flop? It's a risk either way. But so if he opts out after the season and goes make more money, fine. But if he likes it here and wants to stay here, fine. It's a risk, but it's a risk that Jim Crane and Dana Brown thought that was worth it. And so I think that there are more moves that are going to be made. They definitely need a backup catcher, unless they want to go with Cesar Salazar. I do like the fact that they got it around, let's say Imai goes to the $21 million, that puts them right at the CBT. So I don't see them really doing any more big signings unless they're going to go over the CBT. And then if they're going to go over the CBT, you might as well go all in and go ahead and get some more reinforcements. Unfortunately, Brett, I don't see Justin Verlander coming anymore.
Well, I mean, that would push you over the CBT unless he comes in on a handshake deal. And I mean, and Jim goes, hey, remember all that money you made when you were injured?
Well, you don't need 20 starters.
Hey, you know what? Hey, man.
Let's go get Palmer Valdez. Let's go and get Charlie Morton.
Dude, yeah. Let's bring back Valdez. Let's sign Suarez. Let's just get crazy in 2026. But hey, after we talk about our friends at FanDuel, Eric, I really want to get into a deep dive into this guy. Imai is a phenomenal talent. So let's hear about what FanDuel has for us that's exciting and new. Hey, everybody, thank you all for tuning in. This is A-Shawn Wheelhouse, and Fridays already feel different during basketball season. And FanDuel is making them even better every Friday night before the games tip off. FanDuel gives fans a new way to kick off the weekend with the NBA Happy Hour. NBA Happy Hour is your official pregame limited time window where special offers drop right on the FanDuel app before the action starts. I mean, it's like getting a notification on your phone and your favorite team signing a Japanese star pitcher. But it's cool because opening FanDuel during happy hour always brings something new. Boost, bonuses, surprises. It's easy to check weekly before tip-off and make a move before the window closes. The timing is perfect right before games. It adds extra energy every Friday night basketball without overthinking it. So before tip-off, check the FanDuel app and see what's dropping during the NBA Happy Hour every Friday from 6 to 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. A little basketball, a little action, and a whole lot of Friday energy. That's NBA Happy Hour only on FanDuel, the official sportsbook partner of the NBA.
Hey guys, thank you for making Locked On Astros podcast your first listen every day. Whether it's on YouTube, go and subscribe to us. Go and make us first listen. Apple, Odyssey, Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcast, go and check us out. Have you heard of the Everydayer Club? It's a option that we now have where for $5 a month or $50 a year, you can go ahead and get access to the Locked On Astros Discord. You can go ahead and get access to the ad-free. I always see people commenting about the ads. Well, you can get the ad-free versions of the podcast. There's just so many different incentives to the Everydayers Club. And if you get the all access tier, you can get the newsletter after every episode. You can also get the access to subtext, where if you want to ask Brett a question or myself a question, you just directly text us. So there's so many different levels to this Everydayers Club. So go ahead and go to Locked On Astros supercast.com, and you can go ahead and join the Everydayers Club today. So Brett, I'm excited about all these different rotation options. This is something I've been asking for years, and we'll talk about that in the third segment. Let's focus a little bit more about Imai.
So this 27-year-old right-hander, he has been dealing. Look, I'm going to go back to 2018, his first season where he was riddled with injuries. 275 innings pitched that year. He had a 4.86 ERA, Eric. He had a 12.6 walk rate, but a 17.1% K rate. Now, if you look at his years of progression, he just gets better and better. You know what? Instead of me reading it to y'all, let's look at it together. If you're listening, I will talk about some of these stats here so you know what is going on. Look at this. I love his K rate. His K rate increases to 27.8%, was actually topped out at 30. He got his walk rate under 10 for the first time in his career. His K to walk ratio was 20.7, the highest of his career. His ERA plus was a career high 156 this last season, throwing 163 innings. But Eric, in this guy's career, he has beaten Yamamoto. He has been a part of a combined no-hitter. That was his best outing this last year, Eric. 8 innings, 1 run ball, no walks, Okay. He was part of this combined no-hitter. He also broke Daisuke's single game strikeout record, which is a phenomenal feat for this young pitcher because he did it with 27 whiffs. He did it with 17 Ks. I mean, this guy knows no boundaries. This guy has, like, he's done it all. His pitches, okay, this is what he does. He is a right-hander, and he actually compares to pitchers like Luis Castillo, Joe Ryan, and Trey Yesavage, okay? Also, he has a run side fastball and slider that he depends on 93% of the time. That is a big issue. I almost said another word for right-handers. It's a real, you know what, for right-handers. Get this, 93%. He throws it 32%. They strike out on it. 173 opponent average, a fastball that's 95 plus. And I'll leave you with this. His slider, his arm side break is phenomenal, a 53% whiff rate. So what am I saying here? The dude has got a gyro ball, has got a slider. He's got some Vulcan change for you Star Trek fans. This guy is a pitcher's lab dream. So I love this. This kid has improved every single year. He's a competitor. Oh, in one note, he was sent back in June 2023 to the minors. It upset him. He took it personally. You know what he did when he came back? He came back and threw 8 innings of no-hit ball. His first time back, and he had a 1.41 ERA the remainder 12 starts that season. Oh, and you want a Framber-like comparison? He had from 24 to 25, he had 16 consecutive quality starts. I love that. I love this kid. The more I read about him, the more I watch about him. This kid, this is a great fit. Him and Hunter Brown, woo, it's a lethal 1-2 combo.
Yeah, and I think that I'm seeing in the chat a lot of people are talking about, well, why don't you bring Justin Verlander? Then you have a set 5-man rotation. It's going to be a pretty scary 5-man rotation, and Justin Verlander sells out the stadium anyway. He can go in as to the Hall of Fame as an Astro if he comes in for maybe a season, maybe another 2 seasons. And yeah, I get that idea, but I just don't know if the Astros want to go over the CBT. If they do that, if Jim Crane and Verlander already have that handshake deal that he's coming, great. I've been a big proponent to him coming back. So I'm not anti Verlander coming back. I just don't know if they're going to do that after making this deal. But yet he's going to bring, Imai's going to bring a different look. And this is something that the Astros just didn't have. And I know that you have some younger pitchers that were probably going to help this year, like Blue Ball. But I think that he is just going to just have forget the Japanese market. That's going to be great, having more people watching the Astros. But just what he's going to do, what he's going to offer on a mound, you're going to have Hunter Brown, and then you're going to have somebody doing something totally different the next day. And if that's the case, then you have Mike Burrows. He's going to be doing something different. So it's going to be a whole new look rotation. And I really like what the Astros are doing here. They are not just settling for what they had. And this is the way you replace Framber Valdez. We talked about that yesterday. This is how you do it. You build in a surplus of starters, and that's what they're doing. So when we come back, we're going to go ahead and talk about this rotation as of right now. Who's in, who's out, and this is a great thing. So, guys, thank you for making Locked On Astros podcast your first listen. Whether it's on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe to us. Go and make first listen to Apple, Odyssey, Spotify, and we'll see you in a second. Hey guys, let's go and talk about the Everydayers Club. If you want to be part of this awesome experience where, like when there's a big move like that, we can send out an announcement straight to your phone. You get it. You get a notification. You can go and give us your instant reaction. This is through subtext. You get to do this through the Everydayers Club, and that's the all access tier. You get the newsletter. You get discount on Locked On merchandise. There's just so many different incentives for doing that. Right?
Well, they get discounted Locked On merchandise. Like you got like 15% off. I mean, so you come at it from a discount just for being a member. So,
right.
and that's not like a one-time thing. You know how sometimes these clubs will give you like, you get a one-time 15% off, like an introductory discount. Nah, bro. Get some swag, get some Locked On swag for your friends, for your family. Eric, we talk about a 5-man rotation as if we're going to go with a 5-man rotation. Like, what are we doing, people? Do you know how many pitchers we have? We have almost a 26-man roster of just pitchers. Yes. Okay. So yeah, go ahead.
I'm gonna go ahead and list the pitchers we have. We have Hunter Brown, Imai, Christian Javier, Spencer Arrighetti, Lance McCullers, Mike Burrows, Jason Alexander, JP France, Nate Pearson, Ryan Weiss, AJ Blueball, Colton Gordon. And then in July, August, Ronel Blanco will be returning. And then July and August, you'll have Hayden Wesneski returning as well. So that's just the people that are likely going to contribute at some point in 2026. That's a deep rotation.
No, yeah, that is a deep rotation. Now, look, early on in the season, if you look at the schedule, there's not a ton of off days. And so what you're going to have is a 6-man rotation. Why is this good for Imai? Well, because those who evaluate the MPB, who look at player profiles, say that Imai coming over to America, one of his struggles will be if he is in a 5-man rotation. Well, Eric, this will be a 6-man rotation, starting out. And I think for all intents and purposes, and as long as we stay healthy, we talked about our New Year's resolutions. If you haven't watched that show, go watch it. Is staying healthy. But I have Brown and Imai as my 1-2. Now, because of seniority purposes, and granted, he is ready and primed and has primed the pump and ready to go. Yeah, an 8-man rotation. I say Christian Javier is my 3rd. I'm putting Mike Burrows as my 4th. I'm putting Weiss as my 5th. And my 6th is going to be between Lance McCullers Jr., Jason Alexander, and Nate Pearson. Okay. Those are the guys. Now, Blueball and Gordon, I think, are on the outside looking in. The other guys you mentioned will be late season additions. I think that will be huge, especially if they can come in and give some guys a rest. Now, the second half of the season, you have a lot more off days. You have a lot less need for this 6-man rotation. But Eric, what better time than 2026 coming off of 2 injury-riddled seasons where we have depth, not just throw spaghetti against the wall and see what sticks, guys. These are guys that are legitimate starters, but you've got a legitimate 1-2 punch. I think Burrows is going to play well here. I think Weiss's stuff is going to play well. Look, I talked to Austin Dean, one of his teammates over in Korea, and he said Weiss's stuff will play in the major leagues. And again, Imai coming over here, a 6-man rotation. I think you're going to have to strike while the iron is hot, Eric. This rotation is going to be way better than I think we ever imagined even a month ago.
Yeah, and if you look at the lineup, I think it'll be deeper than it was last year, assuming players stay healthy and you find a place for Paredes to play. But it just looking at everything, I think that the rotation is good. Pearson, the reason why you would give Pearson a chance over Blueball to kind of give you an example is he has no options. You can't really send him down AAA unless he accepts that AAA assignment. But AJ Blueball, you can.
Eric, I disrespected the spaghetti monster, Spencer Arrighetti. Can I do a reformed 6-man rotation? Can I do that? Okay. Because Spencer Arrighetti, mark my words, is going to have a season. Okay. Brown, Imai, Javier, Arrighetti, Burrows, and Weiss. Then you've got LMJ, Alexander, and Pearson fighting for that 6th or 7th man spot. I just think Arrighetti's going to have a season, man. I didn't mean to leave Spencer off. I guess Fangraphs got in my brain, and I completely forgot he was on the team. I had to correct the record.
I was about to bring that up, but I thank you for correcting yourself.
Yeah.
But So yeah, this is going to be interesting season, and unlike last year, I think that if there are some injuries, you do have some reinforcements, and this is what I've been preaching for the past 2 seasons. Don't go into the season just saying, "Oh well, we're going to wait till Luis Garcia and Christian Javier and all these other guys come back later in the season, and we'll just kind of tread water until then." You can't do that as an organization. You got to build the depth early, and that way you don't have to throw a lot of prospects away for Kikuchi. And then I know they didn't making pitching trades last year, but I think this is a great deal for the Astros. This is a bold deal. This is going against the grain. This is going against what Jim Crane has ever done. He's never done one of these type deals. And I know a lot of people are thinking that Kyle Tucker, because of his injury tendency, that he may have to sign another short-term deal similar to this, more money, of course, but where there may have to be some opt-outs just to prove that he can stay healthy throughout the whole season. But I think that this is this shows you that the Astros just won't go long-term on a pitcher anymore. I think they're a little gun shy on that, but this is a great move. The rotation, I agree with what you said. They're going to go with that 6-man rotation, and that they're going to keep them healthy. And if they add Justin Verlander, it'll just add another piece to the puzzle, and the 6-man rotation would be perfect for him if they do decide to do that.
Yeah, they would. Eric, I think the only moves remaining for this team are going to be through trade. I just think if Jim Crane literally wants to stay under, you were at 24. Now you're really close to that. Now, if JB wants to sign for pennies, everybody keeps saying, go get Caratini. I think Caratini wants to be a starter. I mean, there are guys like Jonah Heim out there to go out and get as a backup catcher. There are some names. Reese McGuire's out there. There are some names that are decent names that have some decent defensive metrics behind the plate to help back up Yanner Diaz, because you don't want him behind the plate for 162 games, even though he's still, in his mid-20s. But the Astros just got better today. Now, I'm not saying that the Astros are going to win the World Series because of this, and some people probably are, and that's fine. They can do that. I applaud their enthusiasm. But as the always positive, always Stros guy, I'm going to say that the Astros actually become legitimate playoff contenders today, and I think they become legitimate American League contenders today. And I mean, even with the Blue Jays, and the Blue Jays are strong, and they are the beasts of the East. I mean, the Blue Jays are the gold standard right now in the American League. But this gets you one step closer. If that offense can pick things up, if these new hitting coaches can get a mindset, if Isaac Paredes is healthy, if Yordan Alvarez, who MLB said he is going to have a breakout year and break the single season home run record, if that stuff happens, this team is and will be a force to be reckoned with, and that AL West title will only be the chipping away of getting rid of this non-playoff bullcrap and going back and being a real contender.
Well, apparently, according to John Heyman, the Yankees and the Mets were not seriously involved in my talks. The Cubs were among the teams in the mix, and the Astros outbid them. So there may have been longer contracts out there for him, but the Astros, I think with the incentives, hey, if you pitch so many innings, you can get up to $21 million. So the Astros basically outbid all the other teams. So I think there is some concerns as to how he's going to perform in the big leagues, but I think we'll see what happens. Overall, I think this is a great move. It's basically what Dana Brown and the Astros have been doing. It's just going for that high upside type pitcher. If he performs like he did last year, I think this will be a great move for the Astros. And this is the third highest AAV for a Japanese player outside of Tanaka and what was the other guy?
Yamamoto,
yeah.
Who basically won the World Series MVP, had 3 wins. I mean, the dude was the beast. Hey, Eric, I see the subliminal choice of shirt that you wore today. I don't know if you realized it. He wore the 2022 World Series champion shirt. Okay, I thought it was 2017. Okay, even better. He got the 2022 World Series champion shirt. I mean, we're trying to send you subliminal messages, but man, nearly 300 of y'all stopped by and showed up last minute. Look, I was kicked up on my couch ready to watch another college football playoff game, which I might add, my team, the Miami Hurricanes, upset the Ohio State Buckeyes last night. Let's go Canes. The revenge game was awesome. But Eric, this will make some exciting content and exciting stuff to talk about. Again, I don't think the Astros are done. But what I do want to tell you guys and gals, before we get out, Eric, do you have anything to say before I send us out into the new year?
No, sir.
Okay. Well, thank you for tuning in to Locked On Astros. Make sure you tune in because tomorrow we're going to talk about what this means for the rest of the roster. Make sure you subscribe and follow Locked On Astros to get all the latest episodes. If you never miss an episode, you want to be a part of the Everydayer Club. It is built for you. So you can get Locked On Astros ad-free, plus members-only Discord access and more. Head to lockedonastros.supercast.com to join the club. For those of you on video, we'll send you to the first 24/7 national Locked On Podcast Network YouTube channel on audio. Make sure you make your second listen Locked On MLB. Imai, welcome to H-Town.
We'll see you on the next episode. And guys, thank you for making your first listen, and we'll see you later.
I got the hearts, dang it. You moved it. Eric hates hearts, by the way. He hates hearts.